10 seconds to pick.
What is up, my dudes? We've got the Corporate Esports Association Dota 2 Spring 2019 tournament going on. Today we've got FishingBoatV2 representing Amazon, and What's in Your Warlock representing Capital One. And we see a pretty early Razor ban out of Amazon. Razor, a very popular hero right now, just steals your damage. It's really hard to lose the lane when you're Razor, especially if the enemy team is tri-laning, and then you put Razor against a solo lane. It's also good in mid, so these days you usually see Razor in a safe lane position. Ursa, very good hero right now. The overall changes to boots in 7.20, they changed boots so it gives you percentage bonus instead of flat bonus. So the faster heroes get faster, the slower heroes get slower. The movement speed inequality gap has widened in the Dota lands. He starts off with 333 base move speed, which is pretty absurd, honestly.
Dyer's ban.
Bounty Hunter ban, another very popular hero right now. Just get rid of this spoiler alert type thing. Now you know how long the game is, but it's fine.
Only 10 seconds.
I really like this Warlock banner. And actually, both teams are rocking pretty good banners. You've got this just random boat from Amazon, and Warlock as well, representing Warlock. Leshrac ban out. Leshrac got banned nerfed a lot in the most recent patch. Diabolic Edict got nerfed really hard at level 1 and went from 11 damage per tick to 8 damage per tick, so he just doesn't feel as good anymore, honestly. It's a pretty big damage decrease at level 1.
10 seconds to pick. 5 seconds. Hurry, hurry!
We've been seeing Leshrac dominate the offlane pretty consistently since they buffed Edict. The Edict value at level 1 used to be 9, and it went up to 11, now it's down to 8, so if that means anything, you can tell what the power of level 1 Edict really is. Amazon already going into reserve time with this first ban. They clearly didn't think about the bans before the game started. It's very important to know. Unless maybe they got blindsided a little bit. They wanted to ban Ursa or Lesh as well. They end up banning the Mag, which is a little bit odd, but maybe they know that What's in Your Warlock has a pretty good Mag player, so just a little bit of a respect ban coming out here. A Lifestealer ban coming out from What's Your Warlock. Lifestealer, very popular hero. It's the same reasons why Ursa is very strong. She's just so much faster. A quick Nyx Assassin out of Amazon Fishing Boat. So, hold on, I think I lost my in-game audio. This is a bit annoying.
Ten seconds to pick.
Right, well, I heard the announcer, but I didn't hear the Nyx Assassin appear.
Hurry.
Like normally they make a unique hero sound when they appear, but that's a bit odd. Oh, there you go. It's back. And we see Tiny. Tiny, he's fallen off a little bit. I think he was pretty obnoxious as a mid for a while. Tiny's one of those heroes where, he has a lot of issues. If you pick him mid, you wanna roam around early and get pickoffs, but then you're not gonna scale because you're not farming. If you play him as a 4 position, you might never get your blink because sometimes you just have a rough game, and then it's really rough. And 3 position, he just doesn't feel like he does enough in the 3 role. If you only these days you want your 3 role to build a lot of aura items and just tank up. Not the initiator that we used to see out of the offlaner. Crystal Maiden coming out, letting them spam those skills a little bit more.
10 seconds to pick.
I think Nyx is actually a very popular hero these days.
5 seconds. Hurry,
in this patch,
hurry.
I've been seeing him around a lot. He doesn't do as much damage as the other 4 positions in the meta, like Earth Spirit and Tusk, but if he can hit Impale, it's a 2.7 second stun. There's a lot of random bullshit damage these days. Like, you just walk into an avalanche and stun the Tiny for 2.4 seconds. It's pretty big.
Radiance ban.
Shadow Shaman comes out. Now, Shadow Shaman, I don't think is a very good 5 position, but he's a very good 4 position. He needs a lot of farm, a lot of experience to kind of be relevant. You know, a lot of times, if you play 5 position Shadow Shaman, you kind of just drop your wards and feed a lot of the times. So,
Dire's ban.
Nyx Assassin is not that great as a 5 position, honestly. He definitely needs some items, and Quick Earn is always great on him. Lich comes out as a ban onto Amazon Fishing Boat. They're pretty convinced this Tiny is going to be a core. I think we'll probably see Tiny as a 4 position, so Lich ban, a little bit questionable, but I can understand it.
To pick. 5 seconds remain. Radiance ban.
Ember Spirit coming out from Team Fish. What's in your Warlock? Is there a joke I'm not getting about what's in your Warlock? Something to do with banking? I'm not too sure. Maybe someone from Capital One can explain that to me in the comments. But Ember, pretty good hero right now. He's in a comfortable spot. We've been seeing this Max Sleight of Fist build a lot. It got reduced to a 6-second cooldown and adds 160 bonus damage to every attack in the Sleight of Fist, which is pretty huge. It used to be 8-second cooldown and only 120 bonus damage, so if that's like an indication of the power creep on Ember Spirit. And it's not like he's suffered in the other aspects of the hero. Like, the Flame Guard got buffed at level 1, and it ends up being around the same at level 4. The Searing Chains hasn't been changed at all, so straight buffs for Ember in general. Cuddle, a big team fight. Again, they're convinced this Tiny is a core, so they ban out 2 supports. So, we'll see. I think What's in Your Warlock can probably take advantage of this and pick a pretty strong core in this
10
position.
seconds to pick.
Jug ban coming out of What's in Your Warlock. Jug, he's pretty good against Crystal Maiden and Tiny. He can just spin out of the Avalanche and the Frostbite. He doesn't really get phased by these heroes, so if this is their support duo, then they're going to have a pretty rough time against Jug, so Jug was a good ban. Wind Ranger comes out. Yeah, I think this is going to be position 3. Or it could be the mid laner as well, but you should not want to pick your mid laner this early in the game. Especially if you're the last pick, you've got the final pick in the draft. So, you should try and pick a hero that can counter their mid. Clinks comes out from Fishing Boat. Clink's a very annoying hero right now. He feels a little bit ulti dependent, like the rest of his kit is not as great as it used to be. But Strafe, very good against Wind Ranger, and a very strong mid that they'll have to contest with now. They're going to have to find a hero in the pool who can deal with Clinks' bullshit.
Radiant team pick.
Winter Wyvern comes out. Oh, so this is going to be a core Tiny. Unless, of course, this is the Seb-style Winter Wyvern, but we probably won't see that. Crystal Maiden probably be the 4 position now. This draft is looking a bit odd. I don't think you want to put the Tiny against the Clinks. The Clinks, it's a lot of physical damage. Tiny, 0 armor until level 6. He has 0 IG gain as well, no chance of getting any armor.
5 seconds remain.
I feel like Wind Ranger probably is the best bet against Clinks right now. But it's a decent Winter Wyvern pick, because Clinks, mostly physical damage. He doesn't really usually build anything that would give him any magic damage. So the Cold Embrace, really great for saving people against Clinks. And he can always use the Winter's Curse to instantly kill the Shadow Shaman, or whoever is in range of the Clinks. So, it's a pretty good pick overall.
Dire's ban.
Faceless Void.
Faceless Void comes out. They're looking at the team fight. The Clinks is pretty good at laying into the Chrono. You can stand back and let the Chrono hold people down while Clinks wails into them. One of the big problems with Clinks is the lockdown. He doesn't have a way to slow down his opponents. That's why you've been seeing Diffusal Blade a lot recently, as well as the changes to how Burning Army works. Now it scales off of his agility, so unlike the old Clinks where he had the Death Pact and you just built a bunch of damage and went ham. Invoker ban coming out, so they're not sure where the Clinks is going, it seems. I feel like Clinks mid is the best position for him right now. Get that early level 6 and just go into a lane and kill 3 heroes with the Burning Army. It's a really strong ultimate. So they must believe that this Clinks isn't going mid. So a few question marks on the side of what's in your Warlock. FishingBoatV2 trying to protect this Faceless Void pick a little bit. They
team pick.
PL. I don't think PL does okay against Faceless Void. The mana burn is nice. Faceless Void commonly has mana problems, especially in the late game. You know, the most dreadful thing you can do with Faceless Void is pick up a Refresher Orb and then use your first Chrono, refresh, and then you have no mana for your second Chrono, and it's just the worst feeling in the world. So I guess PL is okay against him. The Diffusal Blade burns off a lot of mana. There's nothing stopping Wind Ranger from going for a Diffusal Blade as well. That's actually pretty good, and I've been seeing that one somewhat recently. With the Focus Fire Diffusal Blade, just instantly drains all your mana. Amazon Fishing Boat going deep into the reserve time. They've got to make a choice soon though. Who are they going to pick as their off-laner?
Dire's turn to make all the wrong choices.
Oh, Arc Warden! Is this going to be an off-lane Clinks? That's a bit odd. Faceless Void and Arc Warden are both very greedy heroes, but the difference is this time they have so much damage, and they've got this Faceless Void to win the team fights for them. There's not much on the side of what's your Warlock, and they're not going to be able to... There's not really a carry
2 seconds to pick.
who can deliver a lot of team fight. The Tiny is really good for picking off heroes, but he doesn't control multiple heroes at once usually. You can get multiple hero avalanches, but usually you only get 2 at the most. The Winter Wyvern will be able to instantly assassinate someone. Maybe they can turn the Arc Warden on illusion, Tempest Double, onto the Arc Warden himself, and make him feel his own hurt. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure about this Arc Warden pick. It's a bit odd. But maybe they want the Clinks to make space. You know, they've got 2 Invis heroes who can be on the map constantly. The CM is going to have a very difficult game. She's going to feed a lot. And she's also going to be very poor the whole time. But we normally see, like, if Winter Wyvern very rarely played as a 4, so we'll probably see this 4 position Crystal Maiden. Maybe she's gonna try and go for a quick BKB and use that bonus 20 armor from the freezing field to take fights. But unfortunately, the Faceless Void is on their side. So unless Faceless Void manages to chrono his own teammates, it's a bit hard. The one problem I have with Fishing Boat's lineup is that their Faceless Void is their only melee frontliner. They don't have a tank to kind of soak up some damage and try and draw their attention away. So it's very much up to this Faceless Void to start fights. Maybe the Nyx Assassin can too, but if they have enough detection, then there's not much they can do. Viper comes out, finally, actually makes it all the way through the draft. I've been seeing Viper banned all the time. He's been nerfed a lot recently. The Nether Toxin got nerfed patch after patch. It's still a very good spell. There's no passives to cancel out other than the Time Lock, though. So, and it's also another random dot damage, uncontrollable dot damage that Nyx can just walk into. I don't think this is a very good Viper game, honestly. Got the break on the Vendetta as well. I think Amazon Fishing Boat has a slightly better draft in this sense. They have better objective taking. They don't have to commit Focus Fire to take towers on the side. CapOne. Anyway, let's hop into the game. Only one spammer here, Faceless Void. Got most of the relics from DOTA Plus. So on the side of Amazon, we've got Big Tree on the Faceless Void, Small Tree on the Arc Warden, so they're probably pretty close friends at work as well. Sometimes when we touch on the Nyx Assassin, very appropriate, he's going to touch you with a Vendetta. Tree number 3 on the Shadow Shaman, and Ethan on the Clinks. Kind of an average name, unlike the others. On the side of What's in Your Warlock, Pyro Trout on the Winter Wyvern, BS on the Crystal Maiden, Shishi on the Wind Ranger, Strawberry Cheesecake on the Tiny, and CSC on the Viper. Interestingly enough, Tiny was the drafter, and we'll see if he's the one who makes calls the shots in the game. Pretty uncommon to see captains from the one position, which it looks like he's going to be. The only person I can think of who does that is Eternal Envy, but his teams always suffer from, just like general coordination issues. When you're a core, you want to focus on farming, and you want to leave the decision making to someone else. As a support, you're not going to be as intensely focused on farming, so you can look at the map more calmly, focus on what you need to. Crystal Nova coming out from level 1 Crystal Maiden, Time Walk. Let's take off the damage, and there'll be 3 Bannerins going the way of Team CapOne. What's in your Warlock? So, pretty good start here. This Void is on his own right now, which is a bit questionable, so perhaps he is the position 3 instead of Clinks. Which kind of makes a bit more sense. You want the Clinks to snowball early, but this Clinks, he's in a tri lane, or not. Shadow Shaman going for a long distance smoke. He's going for a curious snipe, but they didn't look at the Viper's items, unfortunately. Viper picked up a lot of items early on, so he's not going to be using the courier straight away. It's really important to scout out what the mid is going for. If they don't have that many items, the chances are they're going for a quick bottle. A nice 2-man impale on the side of from the Nyx Assassin, and Tiny's really low already. He has 0 armor. He's gonna have a really rough time against this Clinks. Winter Wyvern, she probably doesn't want to level up Cold Embrace to level 4, so this side's looking pretty hard. They don't even have a salve on the Tiny. Alright, bot lane, 2 range heroes against a melee hero and a low range hero, but Shadow Shaman does hit pretty hard, so we'll see how it goes. But I think this lane should be pretty easy for the most part. We'll see when Wind Ranger decides to skill Shackle, she's going to need it, because Frostbite no longer cancels channeling skills, which is really stupid. I don't know why OS Frog decided to change that. A nice 2-man Crystal Nova getting the efficiency there. One of the annoying things about Crystal Maiden is she only has enough mana to cast 2 spells. She bought branches. If she didn't buy these branches, she wouldn't have enough mana to cast 2 spells without a clarity. One of the really annoying things is int change. Int heroes no longer getting more mana per int from instead of low mana, low int, not int heroes, sorry. Yeah. The triple Mango coming out from the Nyx Assassin. He's already got 3 base regen, so the Mangoes. Oh, he's got 5 base regen apparently. They must have buffed that one recently. It's probably why we're seeing Nyx Assassin so much. But 7.2% health regen per second. That's like pretty much a tango, but like all the time. So it's pretty good. A nice stun onto the Tiny. First blood onto the Viper. Shadow Shaman makes a rotation. So I didn't see if he managed to pick up any runes. Tiny manages to get the Clinks before he goes down, but Nyx manages to get Tiny. Missing all the fights here. Okay. Tree Toss at level 1 got nerfed so hard. It's usually why we don't see Core Tiny as much anymore. Used to be pretty obnoxious, and you really need the points in the 2 slots. Misses the Impale. It's a pretty hard skill to hit, honestly. It just feels so terrible. Like, the animation is pretty appalling. Crystal Maiden, she's got her Arcane Aura. We'll see what kind of build she wants to go for. She's the 4th position, so I doubt we'll see a max Arcane Aura build. Wants to be a little bit stronger early on, instead of just a mana bot. Shadow Shaman shows himself, but manages to walk out in time. He's got boots already, which is pretty good. So it looks like this is the... Who's buying wards? Oh, Viper goes down to the Arc Warden solo. Oh, this is a bit of a disaster already. I haven't played against too many Arc Wardens. I also don't play mid, so I'm not that familiar with this matchup. But it seems kind of rough for Viper. There's not really anything... Like, the Nether Toxin doesn't really do anything against Arc Warden. He's got all active spells. And these days, you don't really level the poison attack anyway. It's all about spamming that Nether Toxin and going for the fast jungle. Nice, manages to block the Splinter Blast damage. That's a nice juicy bit of damage back on the Winter Wyvern. More harassment coming out from bot lane. Arc Warden, top of the net. Oh, okay. Tiny just dies to an Impale, I suppose. And an early Strafe as well. So he's looking to be more aggressive. OK comes out from the Viper. 5-minute bounty runes. All 4 bounty runes going the way of Fishing Boat. Frostbite onto the Shadow Shaman. Shadow Shaman has boots. Crystal Maiden also has boots already. Surprising. And a Windlay. She's pretty fast already. Arctic Burn comes out from Winter Wyvern, gets 3 hits and manages to chip away about 20% of Nyx Assassin's HP. But he's got 3 mangoes still, so he's feeling it. It's out of mana though, so he's going to have to use one soon. Clinks, being a bro, giving his support a tango. Very uncommon for a carry to do that. I guess they're playing as like the 2-1 positions. I don't think they're a few 2.5 positions. Maybe the Arc Warden is the true 1 here. See if he goes for a quick Midas. Pretty normal on Arc Warden. And they're going to use the Shrine up. Pretty efficient. Tempest Double comes out. Viper already half a level behind. Spark Wraith comes out onto the Viper, but doesn't want to... There's a pretty weird amount of micro happening there. The Spark Wraiths don't go for the Viper, so Viper will make it out. Creeps managed to block the Spark Wraith. But Arc Warden, he's starting to feel the pressure a little bit. I don't know how he got so low though. He should be able to challenge this Viper somewhat. But Arc Warden, not a very tanky hero. He's got 3 Wraithbands though, so decent amount of HP than you would, more HP than you would expect. Faceless Void just being harassed a little bit. He's pretty high up on the CS charts though. With Wind Ranger, she's not doing as well as I would have expected her to. Only 12 last hits. In mid lane, the Viper's struggling a little bit. 24 against 17 last hits against the Arc Warden. Frostbite on the Shadow Shaman. He's going to return Ether Shock. Wind Run comes in, but the Nyx is here as well. So it's going to be a try-be-try. The Spike Carapace does nothing if you're the main Splinter Blast card. Shackles comes out. The Impale's already taken. The Shackles from the Wind Ranger latches onto the tree. Hex comes out onto the Winter Wyvern, but he's got a Cold Embrace, so he'll be fine. Another Wind Run comes out from the Wind Ranger. They're going to get the Shadow Shaman kill. There's another Power Shot, but they missed the Power Shot. Viper gets Arc Warden. They're going to shackle onto the Faceless Void, but he manages to time walk out and nice Impale saves the Faceless Void. Splinter Blast comes out onto the Nyx Assassin, but Carapaces are back. No, just... They kept this Siege Creep alive for a long time though. They took half the tower with just 1 Siege Creep. Clink's also triple Wraith Band. We'll see what he decides to go for this game. He's got a Blightstone on the way, so maybe a quick Deso. Maybe I kind of want to see a Diffusal Blade come out from him just to have his own catch. This CM is going to be food all game. If he ever gets an MKB, it's going to be a bit later in the game. Wind Range is also going to be food. Tiny is food for a while. He has 0 armor still, but he's almost at level 6, so finally some armor to his name. 7 armor now.
Dire's middle tower is being attacked.
Into Wyvern coming back top. Avalanche onto the Clinks. Doesn't toss the Clinks back into the Winter Wyvern though, so he'll just be able to walk out. Tree toss. Can he throw the tree? Oh, nice Arctic Burn to cancel the salve. Smacks him with a tree. He's got another toss if he wants to go for it. And another Avalanche tree toss gets the Clinks kill. Clinks not putting any points in the Skeleton Walk at all. Faceless Void, level 6. We'll see if Clinks wants to come bot and try and make some moves with it. This is a good chance to rotate since you're already dead. You can TP into the lane. But looks like Clinks is going back top. We're going to go back into farming mode. This Viper, a level ahead of the Arc One. Arc One almost level 8 though. This Infused Raindrop is not going to achieve that much. Yeah, Viper's mostly dot damage. Nice Flux. 2 Spark Wraiths onto the Viper. The Viper getting very low. He's going to die so low to the Arc Warden. It's pretty scary to go up against the Arc Warden. Still no Skeleton Walk on this Clink, so he's going to die. Chrono coming out onto the Wind Ranger, but she manages to get the Wind Run off before she gets chronoed. A nice 2-man Shackles to get away.
Radiant's bottom tower under
And CM just hitting them with a wet noodle. She has very low base damage. And looks like her eyes are on the prize. She's gonna go for the runes. It's gonna be 3 runes going the way of Capital One. Midas almost done for the Arc Warden. He's got the Tempest double, so double Midas. It's very much worth it for this hero. Haste comes out onto the CM, but she's pretty low in mana. She only has enough mana for 1 spell, so she's gonna make this one count. See what she can get done. But just harassing the Arc Warden a little bit. Forces a rotation, but she's just gonna haste out of there. She gets Flux for her troubles. The Shadow Shaman goes down to probably another combo. We'll see. Yep, tiny combo plus a Splinter Blast. Does a lot of damage. Splinter Blast does a lot of damage, but it's kind of unintuitive to target with. You got to target the person you don't want to attack. So it's kind of hard to use. Time Walk's off the power shot damage. The CM is here. He's wasted his Time Walk already, but they'll be fine. Another power shot comes out, and another Time Walk comes out. So one of the cooldowns like 10 seconds and 12 seconds. But this Time Walk, when it gets to level 4, 6 seconds, you can just dodge everything. But that's what CM is supposed to be for. A kill up top with the Burning Army against the Winter Wyvern. He can Cold Embrace all he wants, he's still gonna die after he leaves the Cold Embrace, which is, really feels bad. You gotta clear out the Burning Army somehow beforehand. Midas done on the Arc Warden, but hasn't used his Tempest double. Another kill on the Tiny, gets a solo kill on the Nyx Assassin. So, pretty good. Nyx not using his Carapace, but I guess it only blocks 1 hits of the Avalanche.
Dire's middle tower taking damage.
Arc Warden putting some pressure on the mid tower. Got that magnetic field to protect the creeps for a bit longer as well, but doesn't use it on the creeps, which is a bit odd. You want to like put it in front of the tower. Another Chronosphere comes out onto the bot lane. Hex on the Crystal Maiden. Serpent Wards dropped. They get the Crystal Maiden, but the Wind Ranger just walks out. Still no points in the Skeleton Walk from the Clinks, so he's kind of gonna have a rough time getting in and out. Nyx sees the other 2 heroes. Splice Carapace. They're pummeling into the Tiny, but the Tiny gets Cold Embrace. There's not much the Clink can do. He TP's out. There's nothing left on the side of Tiny. Tiny has a Blink Dagger now, so we'll see. He decides to show himself in the lane, which is a bit odd. He should have gone home, picked up a smoke, and gone for a kill, because you need to make your Blink reveal count. Once they know you have a Blink Dagger, then they're gonna start playing more defensively. So this is not really the right move, but he is the safe laner, so honestly he probably shouldn't have gone for Blink at all. Blink doesn't give you any stats, so you're not gonna scale, and now the pressure is on him to get kills, because if he doesn't get any kills, his Blink Dagger is worthless.
Dire's middle tower is being attacked.
This is really the problem of a core tiny versus a support tiny, is that if you go for a blink, you really pressure it. Mid lane, magnetic field comes out. CM just does her freezing field, but ends up dying to the ether shock. Shackles onto the winter wyvern, but the Atos cancels the shackles. Nice winter's curse onto the next assassin. Tosses the arc warden in, and this was a great blink reveal. Bravo.
Being attacked.
Viper will get a double kill for his troubles. A nice Atos reveal as well. I bet they weren't expecting that. Tried to TP out there.
Radiant structures
Oh,
are fortified.
he tried to shackle. Sorry, he tried to shackle.
A dominant
Another
performance.
blink kill on the tiny. He's making this work, but he's got to keep the momentum up. Taking this mid T1 tower, the most important tower in the game, opens up the jungles so you can invade a little bit easier.
Radiant's middle tower is being attacked.
Odd toss right there. There was nothing to hit.
No more middle tower for Radiant.
Viper, we'll probably see him go for a Greaves next. It's pretty.
Radiant's
It's just like the mid build these days. You go for an Atos and you go for a Greaves. Viper TPing top, but CM's dead anyway. He's gonna try and chase for this Clinks, but he's taking a lot of damage from the burning army. They don't have any way to catch him. He already uses Atos, and Clinks finally has Skeleton Walk. He doesn't have any mana for it, but he's finally got it, so finally has some escape. Shadow Shaman going for the Desperation Bracer. Just needs to tank up a little bit more. Not really sure what he's going for. Arc Warden, top of net worth as expected. The double Midas. The
Radiant's top tower is being attacked.
Tiny just assassinates the Void. This is kind of what we want to see out of him. He's got another toss. Nice double kill. The Viper is also dead, and they get 2 kills at top. A double kill for the Shadow Shaman. He drops his wards, so they can get this tower without it at least.
Radiant's bottom tower.
So it definitely feels good in that case. If you drop the wards, you get nothing. That's pretty devastating. But he got his money's worth, so it's pretty good rotation overall. Tiny going for an Echo Saber, trying to get that little bit of extra burst damage, but as a core, he's going to get this early enough that it's going to make a pretty big impact. He's been doing really well. What's his
Dire's
score?
top tower has fallen.
7 kills and 2 assists. He's done pretty well with this Blink Dagger. Maybe Winter Wyvern with a smoke? No, never mind. There's a scan that comes out of the Dire, so I really think the Clinks are stalking them. Or they're gonna go for smoke. But see him. Oh, okay. Yeah, they finally go for the smoke. Tiny leading the charge. It's wants to probably look for the Arc Warden. They're gonna go into the Radiant offlane jungle, and they have vision. The smoke breaks, and the Arc Warden is dead. Very squishy hero. Tiny, a lot of burst damage. But the Crystal Maiden, she might die. She dies to the Arc Warden illusion.
Damage. Dire's top tower is being
Some feels bad. But, this is what happens when you go up against Arc Warden. Looks like they're going to put some pressure on this mid T1 tab. They've got the catapult, so it makes this push a bit easier. Clinks can't really defend by himself. He does a nice blink, avalanche toss, instantly kills the Clinks. The Nether Toxin increasing the applying some magic resistance reduction makes this Tiny combo do a little bit more damage. With this 906 damage coming out of the Tiny. He doesn't even have Echo Saber yet. He can do another 196 damage. 99 damage. Bot lane, Shadow Shaman with an Arcane Rune. A nice avalanche comes in, but Tiny's out of mana. They drop the wards on top of the Tiny, but the wards are mostly in the Chrono, so not too much happening there. But they will end up getting the Tiny. But can they get out? They get Viper Striked, but Faceless Void, he's out. And so is the Shadow Shaman. So good stuff overall from Fishing Boat. Crystal Maiden going for a Blink Dagger Rush. It's not going to keep her alive very much. She has... Like, the Nyx right now, she's just spike Carapace and stop the freezing field, so she really needs a BKB before she's going to get any good freezing fields off. A nice impale onto the Wind Ranger. The Burning Army comes out. Are they going to be able to turn this around? Nice Winter's Curse delaying the fight on the Clinks. I would have liked to see it on the Nyx Assassin, but it's fine. The Clinks has a double damage though. Gonna go for the Viper and get the kill. Nice Cold Embrace. But there's an Impale coming up now, so may have just doomed the Viper completely. A Viper Strike comes out on the Clinks before he goes down. He's gonna tick out. Nice turnaround kill from the Viper. Another toss avalanche combo coming out from the Tiny. Gets the kill on the Shadow Shaman with the tree toss. And Nyx, he's out of there. He's just like, I don't want any part of this. An Echo Saber already out on the Tiny. Going for a BKB next. Very important. You don't want to get Carapace out of the avalanche. This Carapace hasn't done as much work as I've expected it to. Viper with the Nether Toxin, you can just Carapace that. Carapace Power Shot, you Carapace the Freezing Field, and the Avalanche. But we haven't seen too much of him. He's just not been in the right position at the right time. And he looks like he's going for a Midas, which is a bit questionable. Nyx does have a level 10 gold talent, so I guess he just wants more money and maybe go for a quick Ags. Ags is a very good item on Nyx. Arc Warden, Maelstrom, Boots of Travel, he is ready to farm. He's going to keep sending his Tempest Double into other lanes and keep the lanes pushed out. It's going to be pretty hard for Atos onto the Faceless Void, but he doesn't care. A Time Dilation to slow down the Viper and he'll be fine. Power Shot misses the Faceless Void, but he would have been okay with it. Arc Warden, Tempest Double coming out, just pushing out the lanes. Shackles onto the Tiny. They used Burning Army as well. Tiny's gonna die. They only get 267 gold for that. It's really not a whole lot. Well, the gold lead is only 1k for Amazon Fishing Boat. So this game is pretty close. A 4.5, almost 4k gold XP lead for Amazon Fishing Boat though, and a 75% win rate according to Dota Plus. They're like this Arc Warden, I think. Arc Warden's a bit of an X factor. He's a new-ish hero, like he was one of the last heroes from Dota 1 to be released in Dota 2, so still a little bit of an X factor. You don't see Arc Warden that often. Arc Warden TP's in with the illusion, but just feed that away. That's 180 gold though, so definitely non-trivial. 240 for the level 2 one. Atos onto the Nyx. Nyx, he spy Carapaces the Nether Toxin, gets an Impale on the Viper, but dies anyway. Crystal Maiden, Freezing Field comes out, but the Winter's Curse interrupts the Freezing Field. Clinks is gonna die anyway. Tiny's here. It's gonna. Cryosphere comes out onto 4 heroes, but he's gotta run. The Shadow Shaman's gonna die as well. That was pretty chaotic, and a lot of people just TP'd into the shrine. There was a Chronosphere, and then the fight kind of just ended. But Amazon getting completely run over there. They really don't, other than another Atos onto the Faceless Void. He manages to time walk out before he dies. It's pretty huge. Dice Hex out of the Shadow Shaman. Shackles onto the Tiny. We don't have another Impale, but he's got a Spike Carapace. He could have reflected that, but he dies anyway to the Arc Warden. The Arc Warden going for a Skadi next, so looks like he wants to fight. He wants to tank up a bit. Doesn't want to get one shot by the Tiny, which always feels good. Tiny getting a bit gung-ho over there. Tiny and the Viper diving deep for the Faceless Void, but forces 2 buybacks out, which is huge. Maelstrom on the Wind Ranger, pretty normal. Blink Dagger as well. It's going for an Ags next. His damage output is going to skyrocket once he gets that. Faceless Void. He's in a lot of trouble. Blink Shackles onto the Faceless Void. There's another Frostbite coming out. They don't even need the Frostbite. He dies into 1 Shackles. What a disaster. 1k gold advantage now for what's in your Warlock. They turn the gold lead around. It's been a pretty topsy-turvy game. This has been such an exciting game. I just don't know. There's so much on the shoulders of this Faceless Void. He went for a Battle Fury as well, so he doesn't want to fight right now. He wants to farm, get one more item, maybe Maybe a Manta style, so he can get out of Frostbite and Atos. Or a BKB, that's also another option, just ignore it altogether. As smoke comes out on half of what's in your Warlock. Tiny, he's pretty beefed up, but he stopped farming for a while. Blink, Avalanche, toss on the Nyx Assassin, instantly kills the Nyx Assassin and the Clinks. The Clinks does get the Burning Army off first though, so can Shadow Shaman shackles the Viper, but Viper will be fine. And Shadow Shaman, is he gonna die? No, he'll be okay. He bought back recently though, so doesn't have buyback. And if he dies, there's gonna be an extra 25 seconds on his respawn timer, so pretty important that he doesn't die there. Arc1 sending the courier out, but they know that CapOne are in their jungle. Sends the courier onto the side, so plays it a bit safe. 25 minute bounty runes are coming up, so we'll see CapOne try and secure those. Very important. Manages to get the ulti off, but the courier gets sniped by the Tiny. Doesn't even need the blink. Just walks past the Tiny. And now the focus fire coming out onto the Roche. It looks like they're not that interested in getting the 25 minute bounty runes. They just want to get the Roche. Amazon knows that they're there. So they're heading in, but they don't really have a way to contest. Blink, Avalanche, Toss comes out onto the Nyx. The Nyx does make it out by the skin of his teeth. Atos onto the Shadow Shaman. He's gonna die. That's a dieback. Manages to cancel the freezing field with the shackle before he goes down. And a power shot, double kills, gets the Nyx as well. He's gotta be feeling that one. Shackles to cancel the Lincolns, and then he doesn't have the power focus fire anymore. But this is gonna be a pretty free Aegis. We'll see. Looks like no one's gonna grab the bot runes. I don't think the Tempest double can grab bounty runes. Probably need some fact check on that one. And Tiny grabs the Aegis. He's pretty unkillable already. 18 armor, 2.7k HP, BKB on the way. Don't really know how they're gonna take him out twice. So Amazon, FishingBoatV2 in a lot of trouble right now. And this Arc Warden denied his ultimate orb by Tiny, but they can take the top tier 2 tower. Unfortunately, doesn't include the siege creep in the magnetic field, but he'll manage to get it anyway. Probably wanted the kill for himself, not the siege creep. So, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Another Blink Avalanche touched by the Tiny. He can just jump in like this, and if he dies, he'll just respawn. He literally doesn't have a carry in the world. This is going to be pretty rough for FishingBoatV2. CM going for a Solar Crest and really wants to buff up that Tiny. They don't have much push on the side of CapOne, so maybe buffing up that Tiny. Blink Avalanche toss onto the Shadow Shaman. Doesn't instantly assassinate him. Chrono onto 4 heroes. The Burning Army working their way through the time. Tiny's going to die. He's got the Aegis. A nice Nether Toxin onto 3 heroes. Winter's Curse onto the Faceless Void. The Arc Warden Illusion takes out the Faceless Void, but Clinks manages to finish off the Arc Warden. So that was a pretty good fight. And they got the Tiny again with the Arc Warden. Oh, that was kind of a disaster. That was almost a throw by what's in your Warlock. That was pretty rough. Getting really overambitious. They didn't manage to finish off the Shadow Shaman instantly at the start of the fight. Really overcommitted. He got ward trapped, and then respawned, and then got ward trapped. Like, he was still in the wards when he respawned. This Bracer paying off. 6% magic resistance. So, a little bit of extra strength. 4-man Chrono as well. That was beautiful. Axe coming out for the Wind Ranger. She can very much solo kill any hero on the map right now. There's nothing to stop her. There's no MKBs on the way anytime soon. Clinks did end up going for a Diffusal Blade, so I like this a lot. It gives him some extra catch. The slow is really nice. He can get solo pickoffs by himself. The only problem is he's going to have a little bit of a difficult time. He's got to wait for the BKB, I think. It's Crystal Maiden can just frostbite him if he doesn't instantly kill. And she's got a medallion, so pretty decent armor coming out of her. And there's no Desolator. There's a Blightstone, it's only -2. Arc Warden has the Scotty now. It's going to be really hard for them to run away now. Smoke comes out of what's in your Warlock. They've got the Greaves on the Viper. It looks like he was going for an Axe, but after that last fight decides it's time to go for a BKB. Gets the point booster for a little bit of extra mana though. Clinks breaks the smoke and Shadow walks away, so good on him. Now they know that they're coming, it's time to back out. And a waste of smoke for what's in your Warlock. Good moves all around from FishingBoatV2. I think this is really the right way to play. You don't really want to fight them head on.
Have fortified their towers.
But there's a Chronosphere on the Faceless Void round. He's going for a Lincoln Sphere, which I very much disagree with. I think he really needs to go over a bit more damage. But I suppose it looks like he wants to make sure he's safe against the Winter's Curse. If he gets Winter's Curse during the Chronosphere, it's kind of a waste. So I can understand where he's coming from. I just think probably needs to deal a bit more damage, but Clinks is the primary damage dealer right now. Arc Warden's catching up. He's got the full Skadi complete now. He's going for Mjolnir, so the Deeps is really going to come out from Arc Warden soon. Arctic Burn onto the Shadow Shaman, but he doesn't care too much. Manages to get the Hex off on the Crystal Maiden before she... A nice Chronosphere on the Winter Wyvern. But this Crystal Maiden is pretty dead. Blink, Avalanche Toss onto the Tiny. Nice two-man shackles coming out from the Wind Ranger, but the magnetic field means that the Focus Fire can't kill the Tiny. She doesn't have an MKB yet. Dust comes out onto the Winter Wyvern, but he ends up dying. A nice fight overall coming out from the FishingBoatV2. Just managing to rotate in time. They have the Shrine to TP too. So, all around good stuff. Faceless Void, probably like 1.5k away. Blink, Avatos onto the Faceless Void. He instantly dies! And now there's level 3 Grow on the Tiny. He's that much stronger now.
Denied.
Oh, this Arc Warden illusion is pretty scary though. They have to blow a lot of spells for him. The Flux onto the Tiny, but you know, Tiny has creeps for him. But he's getting pushed back by just the illusion alone. This is so obnoxious. DOTA Plus win rate still thinks that FishingBoatV2 has a pretty high chance to win. The XP, pretty even, only a 2k advantage. At this point of the game, 2k is not that much, and the gold's still pretty even too, so this is shaping up to be quite the game. Solar Crest almost done with Christmas. She has the money for it, but will she save for buyback? They have a pretty commanding position on the map, at least in terms of map control, but Arc Warden can keep the lanes pushed out with his illusion, so probably best to save for buyback at this point. Her buyback is still pretty cheap. She doesn't have that much net worth. It's her first big item. Can we get the Clinks? No, Clinks just walks away. He's going for an MKB next. This is pretty good against the Wind Ranger, so I can respect that. Clinks really going to be the main deep stealer. Shadow, Silver Edge coming out on Arc Warden, which really only breaks the Nether Toxin, which is not that important. Unfortunately, you can't break Grow. That would be pretty busted. Like, Tiny would just not be picked ever again if you could break Grow. So, glad that's in the game, actually. Alright, he's changed his mind. He's going for... He had a Orchid queued up for a bit. Now he's got a Chrysalis, so maybe he'll go for a Bloodthorn. Another nice way to get rid of evasion, Bloodthorn. If you're Bloodthorn, you can't evade attacks, so easy way to kill the Wind Ranger. Clinks, I mean, he's going for an MKB, but he's pretty far away. He also didn't save for buyback. I think he's looking for a Courier Snipe. They don't have any vision in the base, so they're gonna see the Courier go to the secret shop, and it's time to go. Oh, but the Clinks, he reveals himself. Now they know that he's here. Cuts the wave. Pretty cool. Trying to delay the game a bit. They have Chronosphere, so they can still fight. But Faceless Void, he doesn't have... Oh, they're nice. They get the dust onto the Nyx. Nyx He's in a lot of trouble. Stun Spike Carapace onto the toss target. Nice 2-man Carapace to get away, but he is looking pretty dead. He can burrow himself. Oh, he goes north instead of south. He should have burrowed straight away, and they wouldn't have known he was there. But he's got his Ags already. This Midas paying off. Ags on Nyx, a very good high ground defense tool. It's just, you just get mana burned, and there's nothing you can like do about it. You don't even know where it's coming from because he doesn't reveal where he is when he mana burns. The most important thing about the burrow is that all his cast times disappear. There's janky like Nyx Assassin raising his hands and then like slamming them down takes like 1 billion years, but that's all gone now with the Ags. At the price of standing still, but his spells get a lot better, so definitely very much worth it. We may see a Blink Dagger next. I would like to say, or maybe a Force Staff even. Faceless Void, level 20, got the Time War cast range talent. You should never, ever, ever go for the attack speed talent. It's never worth it. So I like how they're going with this. What other talents? Tiny almost got his level 20 talent. We'll see what he wants to go for. There's definitely some like theme shenanigans you can go with the toss target, but probably we'll see the tree grab cooldown. He's a position 1. Tiny is in a lot of trouble. This Arc Warden illusion doing a lot of work, and he's not going to even get the kill. Viper using his BKB gets the kill onto the Shadow Shaman. Faceless Void. He's got a Chronosphere. He can use it if he wants. He doesn't feel like he needs to use it. Nice Winter's Curse onto the Clinks. Manages to turn it around. He gets the Burning Army off before he gets Winter's Curse though. But instantly killed by the Blink Tiny Avatos combo. Nyx causing a lot of trouble on the backline. Burrows himself. Unburrows though. The Winter Wyvern goes down to the Faceless Void. Nice Carapace onto the Tiny. Gets the Impale afterwards. The Arc Warden illusion kills the Tiny, but Nyx will pay with his life. He really should have just burrowed there. Didn't have any detection left. Wind Ranger buys back. Not really worth it for her. She still has a net worth loss. And a 1.5k gold swing the way of Fishing Boat. A lot of damage coming out for this Arc Warden. 6.9k damage. Like, everyone pales in comparison. This is another problem with the Tiny. His damage, you pick him for the best damage. He doesn't have that much attack speed, not until he gets his AC. His damage is kind of like fallen off a little bit. He still showed that he can kill this Clinks instantly. The Clinks, he got Winter's Cursed, and then he got Avatos, and then he died. So, I mean, Faceless Void doing a lot of damage there as well. FishingBoatV2 will go for the Roche. This should be an easy Roche pickup. And they give it to the Faceless Void. I like this a lot. Faceless Void is going to be the one in the front lines because he's the only melee hero, so it's pretty important to try and just be a nuisance in the front line. He's not the true carry in this game. He's basically the glorified offlaner that has a Battle Fury, so again, some questionable item choices coming out, but I think it's fine. Arc Warden got a Chrysalis. I don't know what he's got queued up. He finished a BKB though, so I like that a lot. Crystal Maiden finishes her Solar Crest. Go for an Aeon Disc next. It's just trying not to instantly die to the Burning Army, which I can respect. She could also go for a Ghost Scepter as well and achieve the same thing. So, yeah, it's an okay choice. Wind Ranger going for the MKB. This is really important. They're having a lot of trouble with the magnetic field, so this would be a nice way to counter it. BKB finished on the Viper. Going for the Viper Strike DPS talent, but not finishing the Ags. Feels like Ags is a little bit too greedy at this point. Gonna go for the Shiva's Guard. Some nice armor for the Viper. He very much needs it. Viper, not a notoriously high armor hero. We'll see what Fishing Boat wants to do with this Aegis. They have the Chronosphere, so they should be looking to make plays. Unless they're looking for a specific item pickup. This MKB is pretty close to being done, so you can go for it if you want. He has the Aegis, so it doesn't have to worry too much about buyback. MKB also almost done on the Clinks. And a full Daedalus done for the Arc Warden. He doesn't have buyback there, so this is... He's got to be careful. He is still... Actually, he's got 3k HP. You don't normally see Arc Warden with that much HP. He's a beefy boy. Only 13 armor though, so... But the damage, except for the Wind Ranger, is like kind of fallen off on the side of what's in your Warlock there. It's pretty static. Maybe the CM can make some big plays if she gets a BKB, but she's going for an A on this, which I honestly think at this point she should have gone for the BKB. Nice shackles onto the Arc Warden illusion, gonna get the frostbite. Yeah, this magnetic field just being a nuisance. But they get 300 gold out of that, so very much worth it. Winter Wyvern, gone for the Ghost Scepter, again, trying not to die to the Burning Army, well, as much as he can. The Glimmer Cape helps with that as well. Hyperstone on the Tiny, he doesn't have any money for buyback though, so it's getting pretty dicey. They really need the buybacks. The best way to counter big teamfight ultimates like Chronosphere is to just buy back, because he can't use it again. We're gonna have to wait till the next Aegis before he can get his Refresher Shard. Looks like he can finish the MKB if he wants. Probably should at least buy the Demon Edge at this point. Also, Cheese and Aegis in the same inventory, not really worth it. Like, you want to use your Cheese when you're low, but if you've got the Aegis, you might as well die and then come back to life, use your Cheese in your second life. So by then, they would have used more of their cooldowns. There's an Arcane Rune on the Faceless Void, so if they want to go now, they can. There's no vision up here though. They didn't drop an Obs Ward before they left. This Sentry seeing Blink Abatos onto the Faceless Void. The Shackles will get blocked by the Lincolns. Chrono goes down, but the Wind Ranger doesn't get caught in the Chrono, but she can't get in range for the Focus Fire. Nice Winter's Curse comes down onto the Shadow Shaman, gets killed. Crystal Freezing Field comes out from Crystal Maiden, but gets cancelled by the Nyx. This fight is so crazy, I didn't even know what's going on. Wind Ranger has the Invis talent on the Wind Run, so will manage to get out. But she's fluxed, and she's only got a little bit left. The Spark Wraith doesn't catch up to her. She manages to blink out before the Spark Wraith kills her. Winter Wyvern just flying out of there, and they did use Chrono, but the Viper doesn't have buyback. He's not been saving for buyback, which is a bit problematic. Crystal Maiden buys back as expected, and they're just gonna leave. Fishing Boat, the BKB on the Arc Warden illusion is pretty big. She's gonna pummel into the Wind Ranger a little bit and try and... Oh, Wind Ranger, she's gonna die! Oh, she dies! She died back there! Well, she bought back a long time ago, but 25 extra seconds on the sideline for the Wind Ranger. That's pretty huge. Just for the Arc Warden illusion as well. He had committed nothing to it.
My just reward.
Aether Lens on the Winter Wyvern. Try and get that extra curse, extra range for the Winter's Curse. Also, the extra range for the Cold Embrace. Look at that range. It's huge. They are mostly physical damage on the side of Fishing Boat, so... If he can save someone with a Cold Embrace, it'll be pretty big, but they might just end up dying anyway, because they have so much damage on the side of Fishing Boats. A Blink Hex onto the Winter Wyvern. Gonna get a bash. Nice Chronosphere. Does catch the Shadow Shaman. Freezing Field comes out from the Crystal Maiden, gets the Faceless Void very low. Shackles cancels the Freezing Field though. Shadow Shaman getting chased down by the Tiny. Ward traps the Tiny, but Tiny's going to break it eventually. Clinks goes down on the back line. A lot of stuff going on. Another BKB comes out from the Arc Warden. Arc Warden gets the Spark Wraith onto the Tiny, but Tiny manages to blink out before he gets clipped by it and then gets slowed. BKB coming out onto the Arc Warden illusion, taking out the Viper by himself, and Viper's dead! Viper doesn't have buyback! Frostbite onto the Crystal Maiden. Blink Abatos gets the Faceless Void kill. So we'll see if Nyx and Arc Warden want to go on. They don't have much detection left. There's dust on the Crystal Maiden, but the Crystal Maiden, she's just food for these two. Burrow comes out, doesn't use the dust. Abatos onto the Arc Warden, but they don't do enough damage. There's another Tempest double out. Crystal Maiden dies to the Nyx Assassin, just the Mana Burn, the Impale. The Skadi slowing down the Tiny. He can't do anything. Flux and the MK... The MKB onto the... Oh, it doesn't even have MKB. Dude, this Arc Warden illusion is killing everyone. He can't walk into the Spark Wraith. Nyx just walking in. He doesn't care in the world. He doesn't have a care in the world. Unfortunately, Arc Warden left the lane, but they already got the melee rack, so that's all they came for. He's gonna push in top, trying to push in that last wave. There's no buyback. Viper's down for 55 seconds. Wind Ranger's down for 60 seconds. Crystal Maiden's down for 75 seconds. That's a long time. They can definitely take this game right now if they just go top. Not sure where Clinks is going. Gotta pick up an Invis rune. Kind of weird. But I guess the Arc Warden does have BT, so he's gonna travel up there soon. What's he gonna pick up? He picks up an MKB. Very useful against the Wind Ranger. Sells his Midas. He doesn't need it at this point. 21k gold advantage for the side of FishingBoatV2. Tipping the Arc Warden. He's done a pretty fantastic job this game. Look how far ahead he is on net worth. 36k. He's doubling the net worth of the Tiny. And they've got Serpent Wars for this lane as well. Like, this is... I don't know how Capital One are going to hold this. This is pretty impossible, honestly. Magnetic Field takes out the range racks without anyone even responding. Starts going for the melee racks. Serpent Ward's dropped down on the melee racks. Looks like they're going to back out a little bit. The Serpent Wards are going to get sniped down. Viper getting really low. He's going to die. He doesn't have buyback, BKB, but he's going to... One more hit. Cold Embrace saves the Viper. But there's all these illusions pummeling the Burning Army. Nice Winter's Curse onto the Clinks. Kills the Clinks with the Arc Warden. So pretty big, but there's Mega Creeps now. Doesn't get a Shackle onto anyone, and Wind Ranger just falls over and dies. And this game is looking over. Tiny Blink Abatos gets Carapace for his troubles and turn around Shackles. The Arc Warden's gonna kill him. CM, can she get the Dream? Freezing Field, but there's another Spike Carapace and she can't do anything. A buyback from the Tiny. See, he's gotta do one last hurrah, get another Blink Abatos, but the Nyx Assassin is still up. He can still just Carapace the Tiny again. Blink Abatos after the Carapace, but he's got nothing left. Cold Embrace leaves the Tiny to die. He's just gonna get Carapaced, shackled. He has a BKB though, but he's gonna die to the Arc Warden. Hex onto the Winter Wyvern, shackles, the illusion is gonna kill him. That's a full team wipe, and this game is over. GG. A pretty good showing from both teams, but Amazon FishingBoatV2 with a superior team fight from the Chronosphere. That was a pretty good game overall. A lot of damage. Look at how much damage came out of this Arc Warden. 922 GPM. This Arc Warden was on fire this game. He did feed a little bit to the Viper at the start, but manages to turn around. Gets the return solo kill on the Viper in mid lane. So the comeback mechanics makes him end up with more net worth than the Viper. And honestly, the main problem was that Tiny just kind of falls off. You get the Blink, you get the Echo Saber, and then after that, like, you're pretty useless. This Skadi was a really good choice from the Arc Warden. It's so hard to be a melee core against a Skadi. You just get slowed, it goes through BKB, 35% slow is a lot. Viper also just falling off completely. They had this nice timing with the Greaves and Atos, and then they weren't able to capitalize on it. There was one point where they got really greedy. They tried to go for the Faceless Void, and then there were two buybacks, one from the Arc Warden and one from the Shadow Shaman, and they got the turnaround kill on Tiny. And that really just, like, threw the game for them. This Arc Warden. Look at his GPM. He's just so far ahead of everyone else. Anyway, that was a pretty good game.